Hello, everybody. My name is Reid Pierce. I am an account executive sales rep here at HR Cloud. Today, we'll be having a webinar regarding onboarding automation specifically for multi-state employees. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Looks like it's being shared. Okay, great. So again, I'm Reid Pierce. Today we're talking about how multi-state employers can automate onboarding and stay compliant without adding more HR headcount. For HR teams, managing different location roles, policies, and state requirements, onboarding can quickly become hard to control. A simple checklist that you can create with HR Cloud turns email spreadsheets and manual reminders into an automated workflow to help reduce compliance risks. In the session, we'll look at onboarding breakdowns, how these workflows help, an interim healthcare use case study, and compliance tracking across distributed workflows. First, we'll talk about why onboarding becomes more complex for multi-state and multi-location employers. Then we're going to look at manual onboarding creates risk for HR teams. After that, we'll discuss how automated workflows help employers manage different policies, documents, and compliance steps by role, location, and state. We're also going to walk through the interim healthcare case study to show how it works with healthcare staffing environments. Then we'll move into a live demo so you can see how the platform actually works and supports this process. And then we'll leave some time at the end for questions from anyone who's joined today. Oops. For a single location company, onboarding can often be managed with a standard checklist, but that often changes quickly when a company operates across multiple states or locations. Different states can require different forms, different certifications. Locations can follow different policies, and a different employee group may need different onboarding steps before they really ready to start working on from for day one. That means one generic onboarding checklist is not enough. A nurse, caregiver, office employee, manager, field employee may all need different documents, acknowledgments, and approvals. And when HR tries to manage all that through an email, spreadsheet, paper files, that becomes very fragile. People miss steps, documents get stored in the wrong place, managers do not know what is complete. HR has to chase people manually, and when an audit happens, the team has to dig through records to prove compliance. The problem isn't that HR is not working hard enough. It's the process isn't, it's just not built to scale out like this. Manual onboarding creates work that most companies do not measure. HR spends time sending reminders. Managers ask whether a new hire is ready. Recruiters check whether forms are complete. Employees submit documents in different formats. Someone has to confirm whether the right policies are acknowledged. And when a company has multiple offices or states, all of this work multiplies. The biggest risk is not only wasted time, it's inconsistency. One location may follow the right plot process, another may miss a step. One employee can complete every form, another may start work before a required document is finished. Now, this is where compliance risk enters the process. Manual onboarding depends too much on memory, follow-up, and individual effort. Automated onboarding creates a repeatable system. Good onboarding automation is not just sending forms online. That is just the basic level. For multi-state employers, onboarding automation should create different workflows based on the role, location, state, and employment type. That means the system should know what each hire needs. If someone is hired in one state, they should receive the documents, policies required with that state. If someone is hired for a healthcare role, they should receive the right credentialing steps, certifications, and compliance requirements. If someone is a rehire, HR should not have to rebuild their entire record from scratch. The system should guide the employee, remind the right people, collect documents, track completion, and give HR visibility into what is done and what is missing. This is the difference between digitizing paperwork and automating onboarding. Digitizing paperwork moves forms online. Automated onboarding creates a structured process that keeps working moving forward. For multi-state employers, the most important part of onboarding automation is workflow design. You need different workflows for different onboarding paths. For example, one workflow can apply to employees in state A, while another applies to employees in state B. One workflow can apply to clinical employees, while another applies to admin employees. One workflow can include state policies, while another can include location specific. This helps HR avoid two common problems. The first problem is under onboarding, where employees missed required documents or compliance steps. The second problem is over onboarding, where employees receive irrelevant forms, policies, and tasks that don't apply to them. Both create friction. A strong workflow gives each employee what they need while giving HR a clear view of completion. This is how companies stay organized without adding more people to manually manage every step. Now let's look at a real example from in-term healthcare. Um, In-term healthcare Falls operates across three different offices, South Dakota and North Dakota. Before HR Cloud, employee records lived in physical filing cabinets, and the team had to manage different credential requirements by role and state. That made hiring rehires audits harder than they needed to be. With HR Cloud Onboard, they moved to a digital checklist-driven process across all three locations. Compliance forms, contracts, policy acknowledgments, and E-Verify are now collected and stored in one system. Rehires also keep their full document history, so the team does not have to rebuild records from scratch every time someone returns. The biggest challenge was visibility. Recruiters can now check the task list, see what is complete, and know whether a hire is ready to move forward or not. Interim Healthcare also received an 85% satisfaction rating on their onboarding process. Now, that's the real lesson. Automation works when it gives HR control, keeps compliance visible, and makes the process easier for employees. Now, at this point, I am going to show you how this works with a live demo. Now here is the platform itself, and what we're going to do is create a checklist, or we like to call them smart flows. You can create as many as you want, just how I was explaining. If your company is multi-state, you can create one for California, Arizona, and set up those specific requirements. So for this case, let's just do California new hire. Let's say when the employee is hired, but again, they could be rehired, pre-hired, or when it's terminated. These are all trigger events, or even when a department change, a location change, whatever it may be. For the sake of the demo, we're just going to say when the employee is hired in California, they are going to have to do these tasks that we're going to set up. Now, there's kind of two categories. Most of it's communication. You can set up an email, a chat, a meeting, maybe with the manager or some colleagues, but most of the activity actually comes from these tasks. So a plain task is anything that is done outside of the software system. This could be picking up company clothing, setting up a computer, anything outside of the software. A video task is maybe a welcoming video, an onboarding video. We'll go ahead and just show an example onboarding video. You can go ahead and put a YouTube link in here, assign it to the employee one day after the reference date, and they will have to view this onboarding video when they join the company. Now, most of the tasks are going to come from the form tasks, and this is where they have to fill out those designated forms you have, things like W-4, I-9, direct deposit agreement, whatever it may be. Maybe they have to fill out a specific form for California Oregon, a different state, a different county, whatever it is. It can be as customizable as you want. We'll just do the I-9. So one day after the reference date, you are supposed to complete this I-9 form. We're also going to add a task reviewer. So in this case, let's just do the employee manager one day, or let's just do 2 days. Let's give them some time. They're going to have to go and review it and just make sure the I-9 was filled out correctly. Now we'll go ahead and save that. And so we just created a task for them to complete their I-9. And the employee's manager is also going to have to go in there and review it. Now we'll go ahead and set up a document request task. So form tasks were documents that were pre-uploaded that they are going to fill out, and document request tasks are things that they have to provide. Now this is where it's super valuable. Maybe they need to give us a California updated valid license, right? And so that's assigned to the employee one day after the due date. It's going to be stored on their profile, which I can show. You can add a description. Please upload California valid driver's license. Again, you can add a task reviewer, whoever it may be. Let's go ahead and save that. So we just created a workflow, and they can receive this via text message or email. They're going to have to complete the I-9 and then upload a California validated license. And then in the assignment section, um, this is where it gets very customizable. We're going to make it location based, but of course, you can assign it to a division, a department, pay rate, if someone has a specific role, whatever it may be. It's as robust and customizable as you can think. So for this example, since it's California, we are going to choose Los Angeles. So anyone hired out of Los Angeles, because it's in California, are going to receive this checklist. We'll go ahead and publish it, and then that will be a set up automated workflow. Anyone who's hired out of California will receive those exact tasks. Now, it could be Oregon, Nevada. You saw all the different customizable ways you can do this. And then another really, really cool feature is license and certification tracking. Here's the employee portal. So this is where all of the forms and documents are going to be stored. This is where license and certifications are going to be stored as well. We can set up automated reminders for any expiration dates are coming up. So it's very, very robust, and it ensures you stay compliant. Now that is setting up a smart flow in a nutshell. You can create as many as you want. LA new hire, California new hire, vaccinations, offboarding, workflows. You can create as many tasks as needed in order to get that person onboarded or offboarded, whatever it may be. And as you can see, this workflow has a bunch of different tasks. Location is New York. It identifies the manager, identifies the different times, and that is a workflow in a nutshell. The key takeaways is first, multi-state onboarding needs more than just generic checklists. For different roles, locations, policies, and state requirements, they all need different workflows, as you just saw. You can create one for whatever it may be, different locations, departments, pay rates, different employees, whatever it may be. Second, manual onboarding creates hidden work for HR, chasing documents, checking completion, sending reminders, and preparing for audits. They all take time. The third automation helps HR create structure. It gives each new hire the right steps, keeps managers aligned, and gives HR visibility into what is complete and what still needs attention. And fourth, the employee experience matters. If the process is confusing, there's employee delays. If the process is clear, the employee moves faster and they'll be able to start day one and complete their onboarding tasks. That is what onboarding automation should do. It should reduce manual work, improve consistency, and help HR stay ready for compliance needs. Now, that is going to be the webinar in a nutshell. We went over why it's important, these workflows, how they make sure these different companies stay compliant with the different policies, location-based, whatever it may be. And now I'm going to open up for questions. Again, the multi-state onboarding does not fail because HR teams are careless. It fails because of the manual processes, state requirements, location rules. So it's not always the HR department's fault. It's the processes and structures that are set up. It's just not efficient. This automation gives HR a better structure. It's going to help managers and recruiters know what is complete. And it's going to help the organization stay audit ready without adding more manual work for the HR team. It's all centralized in one platform. You can set up those automated reminders. You can set up tasks for the employee, the manager, anyone within your organization. And so now, again, we'll open it up to questions for anyone in the chat. Looks like we have some coming in. For a company operating in multiple states, how does HR Cloud decide which onboarding tasks, forms, or policies should apply to each new hire? Um, Great question. So HR Cloud uses role-based and conditional workflows, as you saw. Tasks, forms, policies, and documents can be automatically assigned based on factors such as location, department, job titles, employment type, or manager. You can assign it as detailed and customizable as you want. This allows organizations to create state-specific onboarding experiences while ensuring employees only receive the information that's relevant to them through that specific um, workflow that you create. How does HR Cloud help HR teams manage rehires, especially when employees leave and return with previous documents or credentials? So HR Cloud actually maintains all employee records and onboarding history. So this allows HR teams to review previously completed forms, documents, and tasks. During that rehire process, organizations can determine which information can be reused and which items need to be updated or completed again based on the policies and compliance requirements. So everything is already stored. You can pull up that portal profile that we just took a look at and decide what information you can move forward with or delete what needs to be updated. During audits, what kind of onboarding and compliance records can HR teams quickly access and start HR Cloud? So HR teams can access completed onboarding packets, signed documents, policy acknowledgments, I-9 records, training records, certifications, licenses, and workflow completion history. Because the records are centralized, teams can quickly locate documentation and demonstrate compliance during internal or external audits. If a company already uses a payroll or HRIS system, how does HR Cloud fit into the onboarding process without creating a duplicate record? That's a really good question. HR Cloud is designed to work alongside your existing HRIS and payroll systems rather than replace them. So through our integrations and data synchronization, employee information collected during onboarding can flow into downstream systems, helping reduce duplicate data entry and manual admin work. Looks like we got time for one last one. What is the best way for an HR team to start automating onboarding if their current process is still mostly spreadsheets, email, and paper forms? I'd say the best starting point is mapping the current onboarding process and identifying the most manual tasks. Most organizations begin by digitizing forms, automating task assignments and reminders, and creating those role-based onboarding workflows that we went through. This allows the teams to eliminate spreadsheets, email follows ups, and it all creates a more consistent experience for both the HR team and the new hires. And with that, that'll wrap up the webinar. I hope this was super helpful and it explains how you can save a bunch of time and reduce those manual tasks while staying compliant through those location-based, role-based, department-based workflows and the different policies that your company may be working with. So we really appreciate your time today, and I hope that was helpful. And everyone, have a good day. Thanks.